Hello people, this is Mark from Kharischangeworks. Guys, I hope you are well. In today's video, I want to talk to you about something that I experienced yesterday whilst at work. And I will give you my thoughts on how this little experience that I observed yesterday took place. And it will be interesting to hear what you have to say about this. Maybe you've got a similar story, maybe you don't. Who knows? At work, and I'm dropping a parcel off at a particular woman's house. Now it's important to note that, let's say the street level is here, then you go down some steps to reach where the house starts, and the door is sort of beneath here. And when you open the door, when you look straight out, you're virtually looking at the street level, like how I'm looking at you now. That's pretty much the setup. So it's important for you to understand this. Now I go, and this woman's parcel is about the size of a shoebox, maybe slightly smaller, but about the size. And I decide that I'm not going to put it by the door. I decided I was going to put it on the retaining wall that was about 3.5 foot, about a meter or so from the house by the front door and where the retaining wall is. There's about a meter or so, 3.5 feet or so gap. And so where the wall is, there's some of decorative cast iron fencing and stuff. So I decide I'm going to put the parcel there, so that when whoever opens the door, as they look straight ahead, they will see it. Do the old delivery administration, and the first thing this woman does as she opens the door is she looks to the floor to her right, she looks to the floor to her left. She then in turn looks at me and says, "Where's my package?" And I'm about 15-20 feet away from her, or about 5 meters or thereabouts, and I'm saying, "There," pointing at where I've put it. She proceeds to do exactly the same. I can't see it. I'm saying it's right there. She then decides maybe she'll see it. If she does, the looking for it bit the opposite way. So she looks to the left first this time, and then she looks to the right this time, and she says, "I can't see it." So I says, "It's there, straight ahead of you on the retaining wall." And she goes, "Oh, I couldn't see it." You can imagine, if you know me, what kind of gear activity was going on in my head. I didn't know whether I should laugh or whether I should cry, whether I should give her a business card for some mentoring, coaching and some therapy, or maybe I I just don't know what to do. So I move on. And this little 40-second, 30-second kind of experience caused me to think about it for the next hour or so. How is it possible for someone to open the door, look straight ahead, not see something that is blatantly obvious? And these are my thoughts. You see, this woman must have ordered some stuff from Amazon for quite some time. And she now knows that we deliver to the door. And so it's look to the door, because whatever you have will be there. So she's now been conditioned. This is something that I've been thinking about quite a lot of late. She's now been conditioned to look to the floor either side to scan the area for whatever she purchased. And yet, in yesterday's example, it was right in front of her. Why is this so important? Let me give you my opinion on a more global thing. My opinion at this point in time is, let's look at the woman and we represent her as society. Let's look at me and we say that I am the elitist. And let's look at the package as the message, or the agenda, or the intention. Call it whatever you want, but there's something that you need to have. Now, over the last few years, 20, 30, 40 years, certain things have changed, and we are forced to be programmed, conditioned to look in a particular way, to comply to the rules. Because the minute you don't comply to the rules, there's some kind of punishment, and what applies today will not apply in 5 years' time. Likewise, what applied 10 years ago does not apply today, as things are being cut away in this tailoring, mentoring, coaching, programming, call it whatever you want, process as time moves along. Here's my thoughts. We have to wear masks. We have to social distance. At least I'm talking current now. We have to do this. We can't do this. And 6 people here and no more than 10 here. And you can only have 30 here. And if you're lucky, you can have 50 there. Now, don't get me wrong. I understand the reasons why we have to be so ultra careful. But when you're walking on the beach and there's no one there, but because the beach is closed and there is absolutely no one there, there is just you. Yeah, maybe you shouldn't be there, but there's no one there. So it's this whole thing about control. You will do this all. So what a lot of people do is they just simply comply because they don't like the consequences of the all bit. So just like society, like that woman, we are now forced to do certain things. And yet, when someone comes out and wants to fool you by doing something different, they put the most obvious thing in the most obvious place. But because we as people have been so conditioned to look and behave and think and act in a particular way, that the obvious is not obvious. And just like in yesterday's case, in spite of me saying to the woman a few times, it's there, it's there, it's there, there was no recognition where there is. Until I became ultra specific, it's on the retaining wall. My thoughts are this. There's going to come a point in time where we're going to say, it's there. On the retaining wall in society. And then we're going to go, oh, but we never saw it. And of course, my opinion is, at least at this point in time, that's total compliance. So what am I saying here? This woman has been effectively coached to behave in a particular way. And she could not see the obvious. Albeit that it was right in front of her when she opened the door. I'm hoping that we as people, when we open the doors to something that is what we are expecting to receive, it's obvious. May our awareness, may our vision, may our alertness, may our acuity be such that we notice something when it's different. Socially, spiritually, politically, financially. We need to be alert. Because if we're not alert, the message that we are given, it might take a while before we are made aware of it. And by then, it might be too late. So my encouragement for you today is to simply become more aware. I've said this before in many videos. We need to become aware about who we are. If you don't know who you are, become aware of who you are. We need to become aware about our surroundings. We need to be aware of what's going on in the world. Now, I have said that I don't watch the news. Now, maybe I'm being a little bit hypocritical here. But when I speak to people, I hear what they say. And I pay attention. I listen to the radio from time to time. So I have a slight idea. But let's become aware. So that when things are not like they were yesterday or last week, when our package is right in front of our eyes as we open the door, we'll notice it. The danger is anything can be given to us that's negative and destructive, and we won't even know. I read a little article many years ago, and it said that if you want to make something so obvious so that no one can see it, make it big and bold and colorful and put it right in the middle where millions of people are and no one will see it. Because we've been blinded over time not to notice the obvious. It's a sad situation, but yesterday's experience proved how clever social engineering and social manipulation can be. I hope this has caused you to think a little bit about your own awareness, your own acuity. Do you pick up on little changes? I think it's something that we can all improve on. Whatever your thoughts are, please leave them in the comments boxes and we'll continue the conversation. Please do all the YouTube admin. The like, share, subscribe, comments, tell all your friends. You know what to do. But for now, this is Mark from Kharischangeworks, and I'll speak to you soon.